Yep.
Another 4 to 5 months.
Yeah,
Cold, snow, everything.
right.
Yeah.
Typical Chicago Midwestern climate now setting in.
Yep. Yep.
Very good. Good to start.
May Allah Ta'ala keep all of safe, inshallah.
Ameen.
Because
Ameen.
still the virus is, not
Yeah.
going anywhere. Look
No.
like we have to, deal with it
Yep.
till we have the vaccine and other
Yeah.
good treatments, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay. Good. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. So we are going to start the discussion of a new surah or construct in the 28th para of Quran, and as we said before, all these all the surahs, all the constructs in this para have been revealed in Medina, and the surah that we are going to discuss is Surat Al-Jumu'ah, and you are all familiar with the name. The moment you hear Al-Jumu'ah, you know that, the Friday prayer comes really to mind, and in fact, as I'm going to show you, that the central theme of this surah is really about the Friday prayer. So Al-Jumu'ah is the name of the day, okay, or it has the day, or the sixth, if you like, the sixth day of the week, okay. And the reason I am saying that, because traditionally in different cultures, the week starts on Sunday, or in Arabic Al-Ahad, and it used to be called also before that in Arabia Al-Awwal, which means the first day, okay, number one, okay, Al-Awwal. So if you count from Sunday, the day, the sixth day of the week, also it had really a different name. It used to be called Aruba, but then it became Al-Jumu'ah, because it took really its name from the prayer, which is really a congregation, okay, and at least based on the historical accounts, okay, and I found them really interesting, that the Jumu'ah prayer was practiced from the earlier days of the immigration of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, and when the mosque of the Prophet, okay, was established, it became also the place where the Jumu'ah prayer was performed. But the surah was not revealed right away, okay? The surah was revealed later, like in the 5th year after Hijrah, okay? And again, here you can see that the revelation of Quran, because Quran was not really revealed, as you know, in one event, okay, the revelation of Quran took over 20 years, okay, and it was revealed, okay, to respond to the needs of the newly born society, or Muslim society, or the society of the believers, okay, and those who believed in the message of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I think this is very important to realize how the actions of the Prophet, the practices of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, paved, if you like, the way for people to understand also the deeper meaning of this important practice in the life of the community. And that leads us to really ask the bigger questions and see how the surah will help us really like to understand and to get into deeper meaning. I mean, I can tell you, okay, Surat Al-Jumu'ah is a wajib or a farad, and everybody has. I think this is really like, again, touching only on the surface, but we need to understand this at a deeper level and ask the question why the community needed, okay, a special prayer called the Friday prayer, and what was its and what is its significance in the life of the community. What was its significance in that community, and what can we learn from that experience to apply in our own really communities as really we speak. As you all know, that one of the earlier institutions or establishments that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam established was really the, if you like, the establishment of the prayer, as-salat. And I am calling it an institution or establishment because, as you by now know, that Quran differentiated between praying and establishing the prayer, between yusalli, okay, yusallun, or yuqimu salah. And if you recall that the establishing the prayer, it's not, it means that we should not stop at the mere movement or the physical practice of the prayer, or limited it to its own time. Okay, I mean, if you, yes, we, as you told you that other people like criticize Muslims or critique Muslims for the fact that they pray a lot. But even if you really do the math, okay, how long it takes all these prayers, they may not really go, it may not really take more than half an hour, okay. This is how long it takes, okay, out of the 24 hours, okay, you are talking about the prayer really taking only half an hour. I mean, so the is this really the idea of the whole message? Is really like to make this connection for half an hour or 1 hour of the day and that's it? Or we need to see that how the prayer is really connected to our daily life. In other words, can we look at the prayer as a model, okay, that teaches us how to live our life? Can we see it as a blueprint? You know, like when you want to build a any structure like a building or a mosque or a church or whatever, the engineer will have like a blueprint. Is that right? So if you look at it, it will give you a clear idea what you are expecting to see in reality. And I think we need to look at our prayer, okay, as a blueprint. In other words, how Muhammad ﷺ was sending messages through this important practice, or what we call ibadah, okay, or ritual, or a religious practice, whatever the name you give it. But the question that we need to ask ourselves, okay, how to make really prayer connected with our life. And one of the biggest problems that we have all sensed in our own life, okay, and we have been asking this question for a long time: why this disconnect? Okay, why the prayer is not really having an impact on the and on the rest, if you like, of our day. And this is where we and the way to come back to that connection is really like to understand really the prayer as an institution, as an establishment. Aqim as-salah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran made it very clear. And he made it clear to not only to us in the era of Quran, but he told us that this was really a perennial, if you like, everlasting message or theme. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Taha, for example, addressing Musa alayhi salam, and he told him, وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِ. Establish the prayer for my remembrance. And again, dhikrullah, okay, because is there something more than the prayer to make us conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his beautiful names? So if that is not happening, the prayer was not established. The prayer did not really play its role in the life of the believer or those who are really practicing the salah, to the point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, I mean, if somebody doesn't know anything really about Quran or the message of Islam before, and for the first time, for example, coming across Surat Al-Ma'un, that we all know it by heart, and he reads or she reads فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, this is a unit, this is an ayah. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. I mean, you are really putting a curse on those who pray. They will see, oh my God, this is courageous. You see, I mean, again, I'm talking without bias, okay? Somebody knows nothing about, has no background, but reading this verse, okay? فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Those who are heedless of their prayer is not helping them. It is leading them to the punishment, leading them to suffering, leading them to the hellfire. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. So it was clear in that surah that the الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. So, and it starts like this: أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمَ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. If the prayer does not teach me how to look after my fellow human being, my neighbor, my co-worker, my relative, I mean, brothers and sisters, parents, grandparents, I mean, if the prayer does not really lead me to that, okay, I have really to question the value of my prayer, okay? And again, ask the question, why prayer is disconnected from my personal life, okay? From my communal life, okay? So the whole idea, okay, and again, if we understand that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is really playing a very interesting role in changing the culture, in changing the way we think, the way we approach things, and so to send the message through a daily practice, okay, as a reminder of who you are, what is your role in this life, where you see yourself, okay? So again, I mean, when you build an institution, don't you have an idea what is the objective? It's a project, like any project. I am sure you are not going to do it, even if you are doing it for investment, but there is an objective, okay? So you have an objective, you have a design, okay, of that establishment. And if you look at how the prayer was designed, and again, people all the time say this, you cannot find how to pray in Quran. But everything you do, please remember that. Everything we do in prayer is mentioned in Quran. The role of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was to put this formula, to put that recipe together, okay? And this is where we have to ask ourselves, that recipe changes according, yeah, they are the same components, okay, but they are put in a form, okay, to respond to a specific challenge. I will take an extreme example. When we pray janaza, for example, okay, you are praying on a diseased human being, is that right? As you all know, that prayer has a different form, because there is an important message to be sent through that form. You are talking about, okay, this movement from this life to the next life. okay? And if you are dealing with a diseased human being, okay, that person has moved out from this life and he's moving towards the next. So who is closer to the Qibla? Usually the Imam is the closest, is that right, to show the way?
The deceased person, yep.
Now the diseased is basically in the front. You are not worshiping that body. Is that right? But you are, again, understanding that this human being is not anymore with us, is not anymore in this life. He has preceded us. And do you see in that prayer any movement? Do we make sujood and ruku' and i'tidal and tashahhud? And do we do any of these?
No.
No. So, because these are actions taken during the prayer, and the message now, okay, now you have reached it, you will reach a time when there is no more action taken. This is the life. This is the time in this life to take the appropriate actions. Once you depart this life, there is no place anymore for any action. Now, you see now the connection between the Quran talks about how to pray in the battlefield, for example, okay? Because it has a different form. How to pray if you are really like in a drought. How you pray if you are sick. How you pray if you are healthy. I mean, the prayer itself moves, changes. According to what? According to the challenge of time and the place and circumstances. And in that context, in view of that understanding, we need to ask ourselves why the Friday prayer was prescribed. Okay, now you can because you are familiar with this prayer. Okay, now you can see that it was formulated in a different way. It takes time. It takes place. Okay, at the time of Zuhr. Is that right? Is that right? We pray, I mean, by noon. I mean, this prayer on a Friday. But it is different from the regular noon prayer. It's not anymore 4 rak'ah, 4 units. It was reduced to 2 units. Regular noon prayer, you say it privately, secretly. But here, you and Friday prayer, okay, it is said loudly. It is preceded by a sermon, khutbah. So the whole form has been changed to give us the clue that, oh, it means that there is a change in the challenge. That challenge was not there in Mecca. And this is why we didn't see Friday prayer in Mecca. There are reports that Friday prayer was prayed because several followers of Muhammad ﷺ went to Medina or migrated to Medina before him, and they were praying. And in fact, they were praying in congregation on a Friday. So Friday prayer even preceded the coming of the Prophet to the Medina, because Medina, the challenge of Medina is different from the challenge of Mecca. And now you are establishing a new community, okay? And that community is facing new dynamics in Medina, different from the dynamics they faced in Mecca. And in Medina, okay, the newly born society required new institutions to be able to face the new challenges of the new place. It's very important, very interesting. And honestly, you may not find that when you read the commentaries, but when you have that vision, oh my God, you see a lot of details that will help you when they are put together. They will answer that question to you. Now you will see that Quran is giving you more, okay? And you are at a higher level of understanding and thinking. So again, the shape and the form of the prayer, okay, has to do with the response to a specific challenge. And this is where we have to think about what is really that challenge. Why, if you look at the first, and at the central theme of this surah, and I would say it is not really that difficult, because sometimes the title, okay, especially like we saw with At-Taghabun, especially when this is something that is really unique, okay? And again, this is the only place where the Friday prayer is basically addressed. And now you can understand, okay, now Quran will take advantage of a certain occasion, of certain circumstances. Now yes, they have been practicing this, but now they are able to see what is really the meaning of the Friday prayer. In other words, they now will see that, oh my God, we have been doing this over and over and over, but now we can understand why it was emphasized in that fashion. And now Quran will, again, Quran is not talking about the details. Muhammad ﷺ took care of that. Okay?
Brother Walid, can I ask you a question? Okay, so when Allah revealed that ayah where He says, وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةِ لِدُلُكِ الشَّمْسِ إِلَى غَسَقِ اللَّيْلِ. So those were and Quran al-Fajr. So those are the compulsory 5 prayers. Okay. Now could or is one of the purpose of the Jummah prayer, and you said when the Prophet came to Medina, was one of the purpose of this prayer was to promote social and communal bonding. Would that be one of the purpose?
No question about it. And the name itself, okay, you remember in the surah before, Quran is talking about Yawm Al-Jumu'ah.
Right.
Jama'a, to
Jumu'ah.
assemble. And Jumu'ah, okay, is congregation, assembly, okay. And as I said, even the day itself took its name from that practice, okay, to assemble. And as I said, like the whole thing, it has to be done in congregation. You cannot do it as like the noon prayer as an on your own, okay. If you are alone, you pray Zuhr. You see, the regular noon prayer. But once it becomes a congregation, then it will become really a true Friday prayer. So no question that. But let us also go deeper than that, okay? And because you can pray the other prayers in congregation, okay? And that definitely helped the society to see the value of being together, okay, working together. And this is why I honestly, when people talk about how to raise children and how should be really the relationship between the members of a family, I always emphasize, especially to the newlywed, okay, to make it, to make the prayer in congregation part of their life. The same way when you eat together, pray together, you see, play together, do things together, okay? Because that would really, it's not just as if you are coming to a hotel, okay, and spending that night, and then in the morning you go back to. No. I mean, we should really, and all these practices will help, okay, to strengthen the relations. And if we are able to do it within our own families, and each family is the unit, okay, of any community, then we will be able, like, to be prosperous, and we will be able to achieve that, okay, at a larger scale, at the level of the community. But if you look, Brother Noor in particular, if you because you asked the question, if you read verse number 9, which, because we think it is really the central theme of the surah. Again, its name is Al-Jumu'ah. It gives all of us that clue, okay, that this is really the central. It's not difficult. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله. Remember what we said, وأقم الصلاة لذكري. So this is the general, still, okay, dhikrullah, remembering Allah, remembering collectively now, okay, not only as an individual, but collectively remembering Allah and His beautiful names, and again, how to realize these names in our daily life. Okay, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one God, okay, Ahad, one of His beautiful names, Wahid, you see. So Tawheed, okay, should really be a vision now. It's not only saying La ilaha illallah, acknowledging that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only God, okay, but also this Tawheed is reflected on us as a community to be united also. And as we said before, and also you unite with the universe. And we will see this also in this surah very beautifully addressed. Okay, so still, okay, the dhikrullah remains, okay, the major objective, okay? And as Brother Noor said, now the address is in the collective now, in the plural, come together. And this is the day to congregate. This is the day to assemble together. But the verse mentioned something else, which should really be another clue to help us to understand or to answer the question, why the Friday prayer? Wadarul bay'. Leave these transactions of buying and selling, okay? And the idea of fas'aw, which means go quickly, leave everything and go to the prayer. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. This is for your own good. Okay, now again here, understanding the dynamics of Medina is very helpful, and to see where is really the challenge. Now, Friday was the day of the market, and it worked, it seems, to everybody, including the Jewish community, which was part of the larger society in Medina. And as you know, Friday is precedes Saturday, which is the day of rest or a holiday, okay, and there is no work. And this is why it worked for everybody. So Friday is the day of the market. Now, do we have any problem with the market? No, and in general, okay, the market is the place where all the transactions take place, buying and selling, exchanging merchandise, people bring their produce, okay, either by bartering or by exchanging for money, okay. So all these transactions take place, and again, it is responding to the needs of the people, the daily needs, okay. I mean, we have noticed that if there is a lockdown and imagine that everything is closed, okay, it is very difficult sometimes. It makes really the life very difficult. So the market is part of our life. But again, like anything in this life, we need, where action is taking place, we have to ask ourselves, what is the direction of that action? Because the market itself may become a hub for greed. The idea of, let's say, fair, do whatever you like, I mean, and that market may take us into things that will be definitely harmful for the whole community in terms of injustice and all. I'm sorry?
Corruption. You spread to corruption.
Corruption, yes, exactly. So there is a potential, okay? And instead of being really like, as we said, a place or a setting to respond to the needs of the people, unfortunately may become and again, I mean, when we talk about market, it's everything. And what brother Shakir was talking about, okay, the affordable housing, I mean, as a concept, okay, is basically, it's against the greed. It's really against the injustices that unfortunately we see in the communities. If economics is really is about only measuring profits and losses, gain and loss, and that's it. Again, it's or separated. I liked what the author of this book, Just Mercy, he said, I think he put it very beautifully. He said, the opposite of poverty is not wealth. The opposite of poverty is justice. You got it?
Yeah.
You see, I mean, it's not like what should be our objective is how to establish justice. And the market, may become a prison, like any worldly thing. It may imprison us and will not allow us to see the higher objectives really of our existence. Then we will not be able to see the important concerns, in our life. As Quran put it, Alhaakum at-takathur. This accumulation, will divert you. Instead of being under your control, it will control you. And instead of being the subject in the sentence, you became the object of the sentence. No. You have to be the one who is in control. You are doing that. Don't become the. So when we are saying no, not to the market, but to the prison of the market.
Can we say the reset yourself then?
Reset yourself in a way, to how you are seeing things, how you order your life, how you order the world around you. The market is part of the world around us. But how should we view it? Am I going to view it as an end by itself? And there is the potential to become imprisoned in it and will not allow me to see the important objectives of my existence, or I will give the market the direction of the truth, the direction of justice. Again, remember what we said before, that we came to this existence. We are not alone. This existence preceded us with all the heaven and earth and everything in between and everything in them. We're all resources, for us, but they exist and founded on the basis of the truth, which manifested itself in justice, in consistency, in saying the truth. So the market, the way I have to see the market as part, and I have to order it the same way this existence is also ordered. So it has to be, based on the truth. You say the truth all the time. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You have to be honest. You have to be consistent. You have to be. You need to have integrity. you have, these are what you see in the universe around you. And the market should be part of that. Otherwise, it may become your own prison, and you cannot see. Again, so the idea of resetting yourself to change the whole paradigm, to change your outlook, to change your vision. And the prayer, Friday, now we have to ask ourselves, in what way Friday prayer as an institution, as an establishment, can balance the institution of the market? Because the market is an institution by itself. It has its own design.
Can I make a comment here?
Yes, please.
During my lifetime in Jeddah, I could see the practical application of this central theme of the surah. As soon as the call for adhan was made, everything used to close down. Everything was shut down. When the prayer ended, you could see the hustle and bustle in the market. People buying, selling, and all the activities resumed. So Allah wants to maintain our normal life after the prayers are over.
And this is how, very good, very good. So you have seen it with your own eyes at a larger scale, okay?
Yes.
And the beauty of it, okay, is that because in order for the Friday prayer, because it's taking place in the mosque, okay, in order for the mosque to play its role in maintaining that balance, okay, because if the market has all the emphasis, okay, the balance will be disturbed, okay. How the mosque, and in particular the Friday, because the Friday prayer is a practical thing. Once you hear al-adhan, nudiya lis-salah, okay, the call for the prayer, once you hear it, leave everything and go to the prayer. What does it really do to you? It will create in you that capacity, okay, to say no. No, not to the market, because you are going back to it. What you are saying no to the prison of the market is very similar to the practice of fasting. What you are doing during the day, during Ramadan, you are not against food. Food is good. You need it for your health in order to survive. But there is a time when you have that capacity to say no to eating and drinking, to say no to all the pleasures. Okay, but once the sun sets, okay, you are supposed to hurry up to break your fasting. What does that really mean? That also fasting all the time, okay, you need to say no to it. Did you get it? So you are saying, you are negating the negative. So the same thing, and with the Friday prayer, you are saying no to the market, but Quran is saying don't stay in the mosque all the time. Once the prayer is done, go back and say no. Can you imagine when the next verse is saying فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةِ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. When the prayer is done, is performed, perfected, completed, go back and spread all over the earth. But don't forget, when you go back, to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and all his beautiful names, why you are here, who you are, what is expected from you, what are the beautiful names. Are you really realizing them in your transactions, in your work, in your presence in the market? Now you see, you are giving the market a new direction. What help? From where this new direction is coming? From the values of the mosque, from the values that you learned during the Friday prayer. And the Friday prayer is preceded by a sermon. And that sermon should really be, should have that objective. And this is why for the last few years, you heard me saying that we have a problem with the Friday sermon. This is really the best opportunity we have. You have the ability, you have the podium, and you have the audience that are supposed to be there. You are not paying them money. You are not really forcing them to come. They are coming just because they are responding to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that day. And yet, you are not responding appropriately to that. You see what I mean? And instead of elevating and empowering, increasing the morale and giving the moral of what they believe in, why they are doing all this, unfortunately, you ask the people, they tell you, we come out sometimes depressed because we are insulted. Our intelligence is insulted. The message is very superficial. If it's not, replete with, I don't want to say mistakes, but it's not really up to the aspirations of those who really, by their own volition, by the love of their Creator, because they are coming to Him in the first place. Is that right?
Yeah.
فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. They are coming to Him. But that dhikr is not separated. The language. Now you are capable of seeing that with me and without me. Okay? You see the وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ, not only when you are in the masjid, but this should really help you to take that value outside, to the market back. And now, Quran does not say you are going back to al-bay', but He is talking about fadlillah. Now you see, when you go back to the market, you don't see it in a material way, just money and merchandise, or stocks, or any type of real estate, or piece of land, or a piece of property, or no. You start to see, okay, that what is the value added to these transactions? Have we added justice? Have we added cooperation? Have we added to see have we seen this fellow human being as the same way as if I am looking in the mirror and looking for his or her need and trying really like to help them? You see what I'm... Yes, go ahead.
Can we keep this ayah in mind while we are talking about right now, when Allah says, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ, and so on. It's a very long ayah. But
Exactly.
It explains everything what you are saying, that, you know, it's not just facing to east or west, meaning the salah that way, but you have to keep up all these things which in this ayah is explained to us.
Yes.
Only
The connection.
then the connection. Exactly.
The connection,
yeah.
But here, again, I don't want, I mean, again, this to not to see that now we are facing a specific challenge. Okay, we talked about the general, I mean, objective of the prayer. Okay, and the idea of how to be the prayer, any prayer becomes really the model, the blueprint of how should I live my life, how should I relate to my family, to the larger society, to my neighbors, co-workers. But here, okay, Friday prayer in particular is really helping us to face a very important, challenging institution, which is the institution of the market. Economics. Okay, how to bring the values of the mosque, the values of the prayer, how the prayer on Friday was formulated in a way, okay, to respond to that challenge.
I was going to say something.
Please.
Yeah. When you say that, when you read, we hear they said, do not. I made everything with the balance. Yeah, this is telling us for Friday prayer. We bring all the center of the point balance. Yeah, you just like bring it back together, whatever we have value, but the balance we can stay on the stabilize.
Yes. In other words, okay, the balance is not bouncing between extremes. Brother Jamal, when we talk about balance, it doesn't mean that you are bouncing between two extremes. At one time you are in the mosque and the other time you are in the market. And as if you are a different human being. No. We are saying you are the same human being, but capable of responding to all your needs, the material needs, the spiritual needs, your faculties, your emotions, your feelings, your thinking. You are in the middle and you are at equal distance from all these. This is the balance that we are talking about. How you can respond to all these, okay, dimensions equally. How you respond to each one, not at the expense of the other. Where the balance is disturbed, when you are giving the market, okay, more force, more emphasis, and at the expense, okay, of your ability to liberate yourself from it. What does it really mean when you leave everything and go to the prayer? Any prayer. But in particular here we are saying the Friday prayer. Okay? The Friday prayer is really creating in us that, or it should, I mean, if we understand it in this way, because it was not there in Mecca. That challenge was not there. Now we are seeing this institution, okay, playing a role. And this is why the last verse, وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انفضوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. The Prophet, can you imagine? The Prophet, peace be upon him, addressing the believers with his sermon. And you know how they love him, how much they are in need of his teachings, of his advice, of his preaching. And yet you saw people leaving, putting the transactions, the trade above. Again, Quran is not telling you to stay, but have that capacity to say no. The same way you say La ilaha, you have to object to everything that may become an idol in your life, including the market. Don't let it become the idol. I told you this.
Sorry.
Let me just say this, and
go
then
ahead.
you
I'm
can.
sorry.
No, but I remember this painter.
Yes.
I don't really know his name, but I saw it in fact, here in Lake County Museum several years ago. You know, they changed their themes, okay? But and at that time, they brought really the works of really several prominent painters, and I always remember that painting. You know, what's it called? Where is the stock market? What is the street?
Wall Street.
Wall Street. In Wall Street. So basically, in Wall Street, I mean, all the buildings are really huge. Is that right?
Yes.
I mean, high rises. And in the same street, there is a small, really small church. Did anybody notice that in Wall Street? Next time you visit that area, make sure to come by that church and take a picture. Okay, it is very small one. Compared,
that's a historical landmark. That's why.
Landmark, yes, it is a historical landmark. Yes. But the idea, when that painter painted that street, the painting is about Wall Street. He made that, he portrayed that church higher than any high rise on that street. What is the message? You need the values of the church to balance the stock market, which is only talking about numbers. Transactions, mere transactions. Nobody is saying I am against the market. We need the market. But don't let it become your idol. Have the capacity. You see how the believers are trained? The same, the picture that you portrayed to us, Brother Muzaffar.
Yeah.
That is really the idea. I mean, like to see it and how. But you see, unfortunately, we do it unconsciously. You see, I have no doubt in my mind that at the beginning, for 5 years, the believers were doing it, but they were doing it as a mere ritual, as a function, But I would say after the verse was revealed, now they can see it as a vision.
Right.
The Friday prayer, one second. Yes. The Friday prayer becomes a visionary establishment. This is why I have been saying our mosque, okay, has become any mosque, not only IFN, any mosque, okay, for the largest extent, functional. It is a place for people to come and have Friday prayer, regular prayer. If somebody dies, they pray on him. Probably they may have a place to wash that. These are functions. These are functions. My point is that how the surah will help us to see the Friday prayer as and from it, the mosque itself, a visionary institution. Yes, Brother Noor.
No, I was going to say that, it's relatively easier to implement the implied instructions in this surah in an Islamic country. But when we live in a country like this, where we are a very small minority, right? And it's for all practical purposes, this is a Christian-dominated country. Okay.
Yes.
Sunday is their day of break. They can go to church and all that, and all the markets are all closed.
Yeah.
So they can go to church without any, without thinking about their commerce and business and all that. But when we are a small minority, the market dynamics are different. We cannot influence whether we have very little impact on the overall market.
Yes.
If we do not participate in the market, we are only, I wouldn't use the word harm, but we are losing the benefit of the participation.
Yeah.
So my point is that can we, I wouldn't say can we, no. It's kind of difficult to implement.
Yeah. You see,
I was just going to give a few examples. Like you are a physician. Let's say you are, you are the patient. You have an appointment with a patient who is coming from 50 miles.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And then there's another guy who's a security guard.
Yes.
He's guarding the security of an organization.
Yes.
It's much harder for him to break away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me give you another example. I may be for health reasons, I am not able to basically fast. Okay. But that should not really be a reason, okay, not to understand what is really the objective of the fasting. And in other words, how I can what we were saying now or today, okay, I definitely understand all the restrictions that you are really talking about, and they are all valid, okay. But the idea, I mean, I may talk to my Christian or Jewish fellow or atheist fellow citizen or co-worker, and I don't have to talk about the Friday prayer itself. But what I learned from the Friday prayer as an institution, as a visionary institution, I can share the idea, not I don't have to mention Friday prayer at all. In fact, I may bring them that painting, because they will identify with it more than talking about the mosque. You see what I mean? Yeah. So my point is really how to extract the theme itself. We are talking about, let the theme, okay, be our objective. Sometimes we find ourselves lost in the details. Or, you see what I mean? Or we take ourselves, I mean, to the exceptions. There will be always exceptions, and you gave definitely in the days of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the life was not as sophisticated as today, and it was even in that time, okay, 1400 years, it was not as sophisticated as if you go to Athens or Alexandria and that, and I mean, they had the chance to go to other, and we will see that in the same surah. We will see that in the same surah. But the point is, what value we can bring? I came to this country. What value? I came to this new institution to work, okay? The first thing they ask you, how many times you ask people what value you are bringing if you are interviewing someone? Did anybody tell you sometime, I mean, during these interviews that I will bring you like money or most of the time they talk about a high value that they want to bring to that place. They will tell you, I will bring integrity, I will bring friendship, I will bring love, I will bring cooperation. I have seen a whole class of medical students, okay, starting their first year and making a ceremony for them. And as an interesting exercise, we ask each one of these students to say one word, just one word. They came one by one after another, okay, around 200 students. Each one is really bring, if you do the statistics, you will find 99% were really values. This is what I am talking about here. And this is how, even in the way Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam built Medina, this is the prophetic, if you like, a blueprint of how, and that was replicated every time the Muslims really like built cities from scratch. They will build the masjid in the middle of the market. Usually the market is in the center of the town. Is that right?
Yeah.
And they will make the mosque in the center of the market. Before that, they were separated. The transactions are taken place away. In fact, even things have changed today after they really like expanded Al-Masjid Al-Nabawi, for example. I remember when I visited Medina in the 70s. You can really, I don't know if any one of you visited Medina at that time.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I was there in the 70s.
You remember like you come out and you are walking immediately in the market.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Libraries and everything you can, shops and everything. Now you don't see it because of the expansion. Okay, probably, I don't know, the market probably is gone. But again, if we don't see you see even how to build a city, okay, becomes visionary. You see, visionary, it's based on a vision. This is the vision of the Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam, that the values of the mosque should govern the market to maintain its balance, not to take us in one direction. No. How to establish or preserve this balance in ourselves. Again, justice or balance is not bouncing. Now I am in the mosque and now I am in the market, a different human being. No. How the values of the mosque, dhikrullah. Okay, so in other words, dhikrullah in the market will be the action of dhikrullah in the masjid. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not bringing it from myself. You can see it, the same language. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. Clear? ذكر الله. Okay, you are done with the prayer. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض. This person goes to his hospital or her clinic. This person goes back to his class or to her pharmacy. فانتشروا. Don't go to one place because life, in order to continue, you have to take care of all its dimensions, all its walks and aspects. وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Now it is not anymore there. You see how Friday prayer transformed the transaction into Fadlillah. You can see that the direction of the truth. Now you can see it من فضل الله. قل بفضل الله وبرحمته فبذلك فليفرحوا. Even when you make a profit from your transaction, you can see it فضل الله. And if you do not, if you lose, you work, you change your strategy, you change your way of seeing things, you learn more, and you aspire to another source of fadlillah. Make sense? Now you can see, okay, that the Friday prayer has, and the mosque in general, they have played their role, their visionary role, not their functional role only. The same way you can look at the prayer as a bunch of actions: qiyam, ruku', i'tidal, sujood, tashahhud, or you can see in each one of them a message, how to live your life. One is praying and the other is establishing a prayer. One is disconnected from life and the other is highly connected with life. My personal life, my communal life. You see, the idea is really how to create a new human being who has the capacity to be in this world, making transactions, making influence, treating patients, facilitating the needs of other people, helping them to afford a house, helping them to afford a car, helping. You see what I mean? This is how you are effective in this life, and how, and at the same time, you are capable of liberating yourself from this world. Every time you leave for few minutes to pray, you are saying no to this world. Temporarily. And then you can say again no to you are not praying all the time. You are saying no to prayer because you were not only like created, brought to this existence just to make these rituals only. These are stations. You see, they are for us, not for Allah. Not for Allah. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. This is good for you. I am making these things for you. As Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was talking about the rituals that now we do in Hajj, he said, Arina manasikana, not manasikaka. Don't show us our rituals, not your rituals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need these rituals. We need them as stations to take their values. When you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are remembering all His beautiful names. What beautiful names are needed for that moment? Okay, now inshallah, so you can see, can you put the diagram? So we talked about the central theme, verse number 9, and then so that we were now able to see how verse number 10 is connected with the central theme, next week, we will discuss verses 1 to 4, and I really want you to see, and it's amazing, amazing. Verse number 4, Brother Yusuf,
Yes.
can you read verse number 4 for us, please?
Okay, I just missed. I was looking for something else. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay, we can wait.
It's a short verse.
Yeah, but I want you, again, I am showing you the words that may help you to connect.
Do you want me to read?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which ayah you said?
Number 4, you can see it on the, he shared it with us. ذَلِكَ, number 4.
Number 4.
ذَلِكَ,
I'm sorry, just 1 second if you don't. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ ذُو الْفَضْلِ الْعَظِيمِ.
Azim. Okay. What did we say about verse number 10? وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ.
Min fadlillah, yes.
ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ. Next time we will see, okay, Fadlullah. Because Quran is saying, ذَلِكَ Fadlullah. The verse number 4. So what is mentioned in the verses before that should tell us, what does it really mean, Fadlullah? But in action, you see, in theory and action. So verses, the 4 verses that we are going to discuss will show us what does it really mean, Fadlullah, and how can that be translated into action. Again, the connection between what we learn from our prayer, from the sermons, how they should really be applied, even in the market. It changed transaction of buying and selling, bay' into Fadlillah. It's amazing. Wallahi, it is amazing, my dear brother. You can see how the surah is crafted in a way you cannot miss it. Just follow. As Quran said, in order to understand me, follow me. فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. You see, Quran is a structure, is a construct. It's not haphazardly, it's not a compendium of advices put like haphazardly. No. Each one of them is within a construct so that you can understand it. There is a setting for it. There is a context for it. Don't take it out of its context. The moment you take it out of its context, you lose it. And this is how, unfortunately, we lost Quran. We lost the benefits of Quran because we are not understanding its structure. I mean, in order for the surgeon to be successful in his surgery, what is the first thing he needs to understand?
Anatomy or
the anatomy.
The anatomy of the body.
Of the body.
Yep.
The anatomy of the body. In fact, the surgeons, like in a certain area, he or she will be the best to understand because they can see it. But if they don't understand the anatomy, how they can, come up with solutions? The same thing. We need to understand the anatomy of Quran. You see, and again, Quran helps us. فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. When you read it, follow its structure. فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. ثم إن علينا بيانه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, it is on me to show you what does it really mean. I will clarify it to you, but follow its structure and will lead you. It will take you to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. ثم إن علينا بيانه. Like when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إن علينا للهدى. I created you and I will guide you. Leave it to me. So if he is telling us, I will lead you, I will guide you, where do you go? Do you go somewhere else? And this is the problem that we are facing today. People say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not helping us. Is not. Did you go to him? Did you ask for help and he said no? You say, إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. Did you ask him for help and he said no, I am not going to help you? Never. Never. I can say it with 100% confidence.
If you go to him walking, he's come to you running.
You see? You see?
إياك نعبد is first.
وإياك نستعين. Ask him. Come to him. Get closer to him. إياك نعبد. Get closer to him. Ask him for help. Ask him for guidance. And he will show you. And really, this is, again, take these as examples that will help you to apply elsewhere. Okay? I can see it in you now, honestly, from your questions. When you ask about other verses, when you are making connections, you are seeing the pattern, you are seeing the symmetry. You see? So let us strengthen that approach, okay, and let Quran lead us to its own meanings. So next time we will see, and you will see it for yourself, okay, what does it really mean? ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء. ذلك هو والله ذو الفضل العظيم. Okay, and you will see, okay, the why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the specific names, some of his beautiful names, not everything, what you need in that context. Okay, so it's amazing. Inshallah, next week we'll go over that, and inshallah we'll continue to see really the other themes, okay, of the surah, and we'll connect them with the central theme.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, bro.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.